Innocence ended on the 13-minute mark. To be fair to barmaid and soon-to-be professional celebrity daughter Danny Dyer, she was given a limited range of options to pick from, a reality with which she is about to become over-familiar. Are you here for love or lust? She was asked by host Caroline Flack, in what may also have been the first point at which the viewer was indulged with any meaningful sight of either the front or top halves of Love Island's 5 female enthusiastically bikinied contestants, whose characters by this point had not been permitted to develop much beyond the ambulant backside stage. Though this will doubtless prove no obstacle to national sweetheartdom, Dan told barefaced lies with almost her very first words. For Danny, we learned, is here for love. So Danny is not here? Definitely not, for paid-for Instagram endorsements and a 5-figure deal with Dancing on Ice. It was a further 10 minutes after that until Love Island was truly back on our screens in awful, wretched earnest. That moment came when Alex the A&E doctor walked in and the now time-honored formula of fleshy lab rat experiment in psychosexual cruelty came roaring back with the familiar sense of fear and joy and shame and loathing. Let's be clear. It's Alex's fault. Alex is an A&E doctor. Alex has a proper job, a middle-class accent and an unchiseled abdomen that screams all this is beneath me, which for the avoidance of doubt, it isn't. Follow live updates as the secrets of Love Island 2018 are revealed. Step forward if you fancy Alex, was the instruction given by presenter Caroline Flack to the 5 women, so quite why all 5 of them evidently heard the words as "start digging and don't stop till you see the Sydney Opera House" is a mystery presumably to be solved in later episodes. As Alex was moved to the subs bench, to watch the traditional parade of male models and semi-anthropomorphized 8-packs go wild at the very pick and mix from which he had just forcibly ejected, one can only imagine the past horrors whirring behind his eyes that he would rather be living right now. Freak accidents with industrial machinery, high-speed dashes through plate glass doors, that kind of thing. By tragic process of elimination, it was musical theatre performer Samira who was compelled to couple up with the not-so-good doctor. And if you're looking for a reason why musical theatre performer Samira's acting career has thus far not propelled her further than heavily implied contractual obligation to have night vision enhanced sex on ITV2, then it showed. It's not like Alex won't have seen that kind of mask of undisguised horror before, though traditionally he has a horrifically misshapen X-ray to hand. Still, Samira's already done her bit in the name of public service, and that was this line of questioning, in which the lack of punctuation is definitely the model's own. So you work in A&E then? That's pretty intense. How long have you been single? As always with Love Island, the profundity is left unsaid and it was very clearly this: absolutely no one is interested in your job, mate. Keep it to yourself. It was also Samira who, barely a few hours after screaming "Welcome to the summer of our lives," would be trying not to wince as the man she was all but forced to be sharing a bed with would be doing his best to sneak in some sort of corrective gum shields as the lights went out. With her very first words on the show, by the way, Samira had confessed she was so nervous "I've barely slept last night." If Love Island is going to change her life, in this respect it certainly hasn't yet. Elsewhere, some models decided they fancied some other models, whose names we will remember later and forget shortly after that. A shoe shop manager boasted about the size of her in-store discount, but a man called Jack who claims to sell pens for a living was not brave enough to admit his career in stationery had been chosen solely for access to cheap Tipp-Ex for use on his own teeth. Recognize the name? Yes, she's the daughter of EastEnders actor Danny Dyer. From East London, the barmaid says, "I am a girly girl." Having a friendship with a girl in the villa is just as important as finding romance. Coming from Newcastle, the personal trainer and gym director says, "I would say I'm a 10 out of 10. Maybe a 9 out of 10. I'm not good at washing the dishes." A West End performer from London, Samira says, "I'm looking for an experience that I've never had before, loads of fun. The opportunity to meet a really nice guy, or even a best friend, and the chance to find myself." A model from Liverpool, Holly says, "My nickname from my friends is Diva, maybe because I always go after what I want and I always get it." From Staffordshire, the nuclear systems design engineer says, "I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for someone I can settle down with and tame my wild lifestyle." The retail manager and part-time model from Blackpool says, "I don't do my nails, or have hair or lash extensions. Everything on me is real, I am who I am." An A&E doctor who has already angered the Daily Mail by taking time off his job to appear on the ITV show, Alex comes from Carmarthen, West Wales. He says, "I don't like high-maintenance girls. I think it's brilliant to look good, but spending 3 hours to get ready to go and walk on the beach is too much for me." Another model, this one from London. "I have a fun energy and I am a spiritual person," he says. "I'd like to think I have a depth to me, so I guess that stands out and I look at things quite deeply." The oldest person to join this year's competition, Laura Isware, hostess from Stirling, Scotland. "The emoji that best describes me is probably the blonde girl," she says, "because I'm just a weirdo cause I'm always just like, hey, so's about me." A student and construction worker who has a Hermione Granger's 1 tattoo on his arm. Neil says, "My ex would probably say that I'm immature and a bit of an attention seeker, and she wouldn't be wrong." Last but not least, we have a stationery sales manager from Kent. "I consider myself really good looking and so far in my life I've had no complaints," he says. "I get lots of compliments. Still, Cupid's arrows have been fired. 11 of them, simultaneously, at high speed, into a tiny circle from point-blank range, and one thing's abundantly clear, absolutely no one's wearing much in the way of body armor." Now we step back and watch the low-rent Tarantino-style bloodbath unfold.